Pesticides have truly revolutionized farming. Pesticides protect plants from insects and from diseases and allows farmers to maximize production. But there is a dark side to these seemingly magical substances. Hello, and welcome to another episode of Bite-Sized, science you can sink your teeth into. I'm your host, Dr. Mariëtte van der Walt, and today we're talking about the unseen but devastating effects that pesticides have on bat species. Oh, and just so you know, today's illustrations feature the rhinolophus bat, which is also known as horseshoe bats. Let's dive right into it. Pesticides are synthetic chemicals produced by humans to protect crop plants. When they are sprayed in the environment, synthetic pesticides last for a very long time, which is a good thing when you're wanting to protect your crops, but it can be disastrous for the environment. The most dangerous pesticides largely fall into four groups. Firstly, we have the organochlorines like DDT. Next, we have the organophosphates, which include pesticides like diazinon. Then there are carbamates like carbaryl. And lastly, there are the pyrethroids like permethrin. When these chemicals are sprayed in the environment, bats are exposed to them in several ways. They can either directly eat the fruits or the plants that have been sprayed with the chemicals, they can eat the insects that have come into contact with the pesticides, or they can drink the water that has been contaminated by these pesticides because, as we all know, pesticides tend to end up in our water bodies through agricultural runoff. So pesticides by design are made to be extremely toxic because they are made to kill the pest insects that feed on our crop plants. So we can call the pest insects the primary targets of the pesticides. Unfortunately, bats are also exposed to these chemicals, and we consider them non-target species. Over time, these toxins build up in the bats' bodies and have serious health effects. Let's look at what these are. Many pesticides are neurotoxins, which means that they affect the central nervous system and the brain the most. These chemicals affect behavior, bats' ability to echolocate, and their flight coordination. As a result, affected bats struggle to fly and to navigate in their surroundings, and this affects their ability to find food, which of course significantly impacts their ability to survive. Pesticides also weaken bats' immune systems, which leaves them vulnerable to diseases. This vulnerability means that more bats in the population are susceptible to disease, and that diseases might spread within the population more quickly. And this is a problem for bat populations already at risk from other factors like landscape change. Pesticides also harm bats' reproductive abilities by disrupting their hormones. This leads to lower birth rates and higher infant mortality, which is a problem for species that already reproduce slowly, like we learnt in the previous episode, and this increases their risk of population decline. The effects of pesticides might also not be immediately apparent because pesticides tend to be stored in the bat's fat. The chemicals are then released back into the bloodstream when the fat is metabolized during times of stress, like when bats hibernate and don't eat for a long time, or when they migrate. And when they're migrating, they're using up their fat stores. That's really when the effects of these stored toxins can have a much bigger effect because they've been stored in the fat at such high concentrations. And it's not just bats that are affected. Pesticides tend to accumulate at every level in the food chain as predators eat their prey. So bats eat the insects that are directly exposed, bats are then eaten by owls, and the owls in turn are eaten by larger predators like servals or other big cats. At each level, the pesticides accumulate in the predators' bodies, and this process is known as bioaccumulation. So you see, there really is far-reaching consequences for something that we think simply protects the vegetables that we like to eat. But luckily, there are solutions to this problem. Scientists are working on more natural pesticides, or biopesticides, that break down a lot quicker in the environment and are less toxic when ingested by non-target species. Farmers are also adopting integrated pest management strategies to reduce their dependence on toxic and harmful chemicals. And there's something you and I can do as well. By buying organic produce and supporting sustainable farming, our choices are supporting a healthier ecosystem for bats and other wildlife. Thanks so much for watching. Before you go, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel for more bite-sized science insights. Until next time.